Varane to spark bidding war, Angelino close to triggering clause, Van der Beek not trusted at United, the transfer roundup, and today's great debate all coming up in the next few minutes. As I'm your host, Matt Froelich, you are the One Footballers, and this is the Daily News. First off, and Raphael Varane is about to spark a bidding war. He has a contract at Real Madrid until 2022, and apparently if he's not going to re-sign, the Real Madrid Chiefs want to get him out of there because they're going to get a bit of money for him. At 27 years old, with all the Champions League titles, all the trophies, the World Cup as well, he is a prized defender, if not potentially one of the best deals ever. Like, where on earth are you going to find a centre-back at that age with that experience and that quality for around 50 million euros? That's the price being quoted because, like I mentioned, they definitely do not want to lose him on a free next summer. That will probably make it 2 summers in a row in which they've lost a star centre-back, because it looks like Sergio Ramos may also not be renewing. He wants a 2-year deal. We've spoken about this a lot before. He wants a 2-year deal. Real Madrid only want to give him 1 year, and now that he's injured until April, we may not even see his worth on the pitch for another few months. So we could be seeing the end of Ramos at Madrid. Anyway, if Varane is to have all this interest in him, apparently it's coming from 4 corners of Europe: Chelsea, Manchester United, PSG and Juventus, because of course the biggest names with the biggest money, and they can definitely tempt Varane into their team. When it comes to Juventus, I think they've got some good options, although Bonucci and Chiellini are getting on a bit, so to pair him up at the back with Matthias de Ligt is a pretty good deal. When it comes to PSG, not only would he be a fantastic replacement for Thiago Silva, but if Real Madrid sell Varane to PSG, there could be a bit of sweet talking, and maybe they'll throw Kylian Mbappe's name into the conversation as well. Elsewhere, and as for Chelsea United, both of them want new centre-backs, both of them need new centre-backs, and both of them are the only ones in the Premier League who are likely to splash out on a big deal, as well as Manchester City. But moving on from that defender and to another one in Angelino, who's close to triggering a clause which would see him join Leipzig permanently for around 20 million euros. This, to me, is a very strange deal. Now, apparently the deal which saw him go on loan to Leipzig from Manchester City included a clause that if he were to play 12 games all season, 5 of them in the second half of the season, the clause would be triggered and they have to pay 20 million euros. What a great deal. I don't know about you guys, but I've watched Angelino a little bit in the Bundesliga and quite a lot in the Champions League. Seems like a certain Champions League starter. He's a certain starter for Leipzig, who are trying to push Bayern Munich at the top of the Bundesliga, although not so successfully, and who made it to the semi-finals of the Champions League last season. Like, surely this is a left back that would actually suit Manchester City to have. I'm not so sure they thought this one through. Zinchenko, for me, always looks like a decent option, but never that top level. And Benjamin Mendy can be that top level, but he's always injured. So why on earth they agreed to such a bad deal is actually their loss. Anyway, for Julian Nagelsmann's men, it's a pretty good deal. This season so far, he's got 4 goals and 4 assists in the Bundesliga. As you mentioned, from left back / left wing back. And on this current form, looks to be one of the best actually in Europe. Next up though, and to Donny van der Beek, who apparently his teammates do not trust. That is according to Mark Hughes, who was speaking last night about his former team and one of their newest recruits, stating that 40 million euros doesn't really look worth it at the moment because some of the players just don't trust him. He was saying that Matic and Fred, when they look forward, they're always going to pass to Rashford, Martial or Greenwood, and that Van der Beek, someone who's notorious for finding good spaces in the attacking third, just isn't doing the job. I kind of half agree, I kind of don't. It's very difficult to just assume that the central midfielders look up and go, yeah, no, I don't trust you. I'm just going to pass to these 3 instead. Surely not. Surely there just has to be a reason or a circumstance that this is happening. Maybe it is down to Van der Beek not showing himself enough and not being so confident. But to go ahead and say they outright do not trust him, I'm not sure I believe all that nonsense. What we can believe, though, is that Van der Beek has been largely underwhelming. He managed to start last night, was massively ineffectual, and eventually came off for Bruno Fernandes as Manchester United managed to win just in extra time to take them through to the quarterfinal of the FA Cup. In all honesty, and I actually mentioned this at the beginning of the season, our predictions, I thought Van der Beek was going to be the worst signing because I couldn't see where he'd fit in. Not because of his quality, he's got loads of it, but just where he's going to fit into this Manchester United system. And here we are, just over halfway through the season, and I stand by my prediction. I don't know where he fits in at United, and I'm not sure how this is ever going to be looked back upon as a positive signing for this season. Who knows? When the team is rejigged about, maybe a few players come in, maybe a few players go out. Van der Beek may find his role at United, but at the moment it's very difficult to see where exactly that is on the pitch. So next up, and a quick round up of the rest of the day's transfer news, where Leicester City have apparently decided they will not be making Cengiz Ünder's loan deal a permanent one, and instead want to go after Marseille's Florian Thauvin in the summer. Elsewhere, and Inter Milan are set to double Lautaro Martinez's salary by signing him to a new long-term contract. Across the city, and AC Milan are also talking him out a new contract, this time with 39-year-old Zlatan Ibrahimovic. And lastly but not least, Manchester City have agreed to sign two 17-year-old wonder kids from Fluminense called Matinho and Kai, apparently. Anyway, the Brazilian youngsters will be joining Manchester City next summer as part of the deal. So finally, we come to this week's great debate. This is where the guys in the OneFootball newsroom pose a question to all of you, and you can find my answer and their answer in the relevant article in the OneFootball app. But for the comment section down below, they want to know who has been your player of the season so far. For me, this is quite a tough one. Like, there's the obvious names, but I'm just going to pitch for Jack Grealish. When you watch him play for Aston Villa, it is so clear he is so key to what they do, and he's improved so much with them. Like, when they were chasing promotion, he was there as their main player. And then when they were fighting relegation last season, again, he stepped up. And now they're maybe fighting for Europa League spot. Again, he's stepping up to that level. Like, as he steps up, he simultaneously brings the quality of the squad up with him. And I just think he's such a phenomenal player. This season, he's up towards the top of all the creativity charts as well as being second in the Premier League for assists. And I just think overall, he has been my player of the season. So you guys, let me know your thoughts down below. Check out everything else we've got going on OneFootball. And until next time, I will see you guys later.